I used to believe that my marriage was safe, not perfect, but safe. The kind of relationship where you fight about bills, about groceries, about whose turn it is to clean the kitchen. But at the end of the day, you fall asleep next to someone you trust with your whole heart. For years, that was us. My husband, Daniel, wasn't the most romantic man, but he was stable, reliable, the kind of man who would pick me up from work when it rained, who would fix the broken sink at midnight just because I complained it was leaking. I thought stability was enough, but stability can be deceiving. It started small, subtle changes. He was spending more time on his phone, tilting the screen away when I walked into the room. He started working late, excuses that sounded almost rehearsed. And when I asked, he'd sigh, kiss my forehead, and tell me not to worry. I wanted to believe him. God, I wanted to. But then came the night that changed everything. I couldn't sleep, so I walked into the living room around midnight. And there he was sitting in the dark, phone in hand, a smile on his face I hadn't seen in years. A smile that wasn't for me. "Who are you talking to?" I asked, my voice sharper than I intended. He jumped, locked the screen, and muttered, "Work stuff." At midnight? With that smile? That was the first crack. Over the next few weeks, my mind became a battlefield. Part of me screamed that I was overreacting, that I was paranoid. But another part, the part that noticed his sudden care about how he dressed, his new cologne, the way he kept his phone glued to his hand, knew something was wrong. And then, I found it. One careless moment, he left his phone charging in the kitchen while he showered. My hands trembled as I picked it up, fighting with myself. I knew it was wrong. I knew if I looked, there was no going back. But curiosity is cruel. The messages were there, dozens of them, to a woman named Claire. They weren't explicit, not at first, but they were intimate. Jokes, inside references, late-night confessions. And then, "I miss you." My stomach dropped. I couldn't breathe. The man I thought I knew, the man who promised me forever, was giving pieces of himself to someone else. I didn't confront him immediately. I kept it inside, carrying the weight like a stone pressing against my chest. I watched him lie next to me, sleeping peacefully, while I lay awake wondering if he was dreaming of her. Finally, one evening, I couldn't take it anymore. "Who is Claire?" I asked quietly as we sat at the dinner table. The fork froze in his hand. His face went pale. That silence was louder than any confession. "She's just a friend," he whispered eventually. "A friend?" My voice cracked. "Do friends say I miss you? Do friends hide messages at midnight?" He looked at me with eyes full of panic, then guilt. "It's not what you think. I didn't sleep with her. But sometimes emotional betrayal cuts deeper than the physical. I cried that night until my body ached. He tried to hold me, but I pushed him away. How could I let him touch me when his heart was somewhere else? The days that followed were torture. We lived in the same house, but it felt like strangers occupying separate worlds. I wanted answers, but every answer hurt more than the last. He swore he loved me, swore it was just texting, nothing more, swore it was a mistake. But the truth was, I wasn't enough for him to stay loyal. And once you know that, it changes everything. I thought about leaving. I even packed a bag once, standing in our bedroom with my clothes folded neatly inside. But then I looked at the wedding photo on the dresser, the two of us. So young, so certain, smiling at a future we thought we understood. I collapsed on the floor, sobbing. How do you walk away from a life you built together? How do you erase years of love because of one betrayal? Weeks turned into months. We tried therapy. We tried honesty. He deleted her number, showed me his phone, promised to rebuild what was broken. But here's the thing no one tells you. Once trust is shattered, even the smallest doubt feels like poison. A late meeting, a delayed text, a moment of silence, and I was spiraling again. I became someone I didn't recognize. Suspicious, angry, cold, and he became defensive, resentful, tired of proving himself. Our love story was turning into a war zone. Then came the night I truly broke. I found out that Claire wasn't gone. He hadn't met her, but he had been liking her posts, sending the occasional "how are you" messages. Nothing big, nothing romantic, but it was enough. Enough to tell me she was still in his mind. And in that moment, I knew I was living with a stranger. I confronted him again. This time, I didn't cry. My voice was steady, almost calm. You made a choice, and I'm making mine. I can't live like this anymore, he begged. He dropped to his knees, tears streaming down his face. Please, don't leave. I'll change. I'll do anything. But it was too late. Love doesn't die in a single moment. It dies slowly, piece by piece, until one day you wake up and realize it's gone. And that night, mine was gone. I walked away from my marriage with nothing but my suitcase and my broken heart. People asked me later if I regretted leaving. The truth? I regret that he pushed me to that point. I regret that we lost ourselves to lies and secrets. But I don't regret choosing myself. Because sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away from the person you thought would never hurt you.